Right, so we have a wonderful topic this evening. Well, they're all wonderful topics, and thanks for coming through again this evening. I think people are getting great value and enjoying what we're talking about. Last night we had a really good chat about bees and productivity and what we can learn from nature. And actually, many of our lessons are in nature. Nature teaches us, it heals us. And in fact, beauty and vitality are gifts from nature for those who abide by her rules. That is Leonardo da Vinci, and that's somebody who really studied nature. And you see it reflected in all his work. Somebody else who really studied nature is Goethe, and following on from him, Rudolf Steiner. So they really also had a look at nature and what it could do. Another one is Dr. Bach from the Bach Flower Remedies. And interesting doctor, kind of pushed everything off his desk and started looking at nature because he had a lot of patients who had emotional issues. And then he developed this range of products, tinctures really, that resolve emotional problems non-verbally in the quantum space. And he actually had the fortune of experimenting and using his own products because emotion befell on him. And anyway, so many people have studied nature, and me included. When I started practicing, I wanted to know about how to grow the most nutrient-dense food, the plants, because that was what was feeding me. And I understood that if I could crack that, I would understand how to reset, restore, rejuvenate, and realign the human body, because I understood that we were interconnected and interrelated. So I understood, without having read the whole word, etc., I understood quantum. So quantum is the space we all live in, we come from. It's the basis of the morphogenic field. Morphogenic, the field where we come from. The field that uses almost gold, etc., to make us and get us into physical being form, and it's uses the word morph. Morph means to change, to shift. So, indicating in the quantum field with fractal replication, etc., nothing is ever repeated exactly. You never get a second chance at putting your toe in the river. Okay, so we have to understand we're keeping on moving and we're keeping on evolving, hopefully evolving up with a higher vibration, learning from our mistakes and getting higher and higher and higher, getting more knowledge, as opposed to devolving, which is something we want to avoid completely. And I think I've spoken about this in nearly every single one of my lectures on this topic. And bearing in mind, I'm preparing us and getting us ready and to use inspiration and imagination to shift into the new age of Aquarius, the 21st of December, the planets alignment, astrologically, the planets move out of Capricorn and straight into Aquarius, and a lot more on that closer to the time. We'll do a whole astronomy lecture. So we're really looking at gearing ourselves up towards this and understanding the interrelationship and interdependency of everything, which is quantum. Everything is systems-based. It's a web of life, put it that way. And everything is in a quantum spin. Some matter is very dense and crystallized, and other matters and gases, for example, are very fluid. And just to also point out the fact that we are not fixed. We don't actually have a fixed boundary. We are electromagnetic beings, as is a plant, as is an animal. And we, based on our charge and the format of our electromagnetic field, we attract the biology. Okay, and then we operate from there. That is how we got physical form. From an electromagnetic point of view, we attracted the biology. So that's what makes us different as well. And then we have the DNA that goes with that. So the DNA is the beginning and the end of it all. It's our blueprint. It's what we bring with us from the morphogenic field. Then that DNA merges with the ancestral DNA, the ancestral genetic patterns, and then also get subjected to epigenetics, the environmental impact on the genes of that individual person too. So based on all of that, we either get very perfect DNA spirals or we get some that are a little bit imperfect. So imperfections arrive due to toxicity, radiation toxicity, smoking, food additives, heavy metals, all damage, stress, late nights, all damage the cells and our DNA. And the ability for the DNA to recuperate and regenerate itself according to its blueprint is quite a task in today's life because of the avalanche of the toxins. So we need to detox a lot, and we've spoken about this, and we have to maintain our own form because we are able to. We are the ones with the free will. We can actually shift out of nature's perfect form by making maybe unwise choices, and we can devolve, and we can upset the golden mean, which is really the golden spiral that keeps us together. So we have, in the quantum field, we have a core with a golden mean coming downwards clockwise and another golden mean going upwards anti-clockwise. So it's the linking of the two golden means, and that vortex spin is what gives us our vibration. Okay, and we need to make sure that that's not optimum, maximum, because that's how we're going to shift up the paradigm curve, the new paradigm curve, and leave behind in the dust the negativity, the old, what's not serving us anymore, the patterns that are not serving us anymore. A ball with a chain, keeping us back in the third dimensional space, as opposed to out of this massive chaos that's created right now, we can get reordering and repatterning. And in a self-sustainable way, we can then shift up the new paradigm curve. We are the pioneers. So we are the ones that will be really pulling other people with us and helping with the shape shifting, if you like. And we've done many lectures as well. In particular, last Saturday, we were talking with Professor Deja Dubonnet. We were talking about the degree of deception, illusion, distortion, and how also our perception can be distorted. So the main issue here is to have a very clean body and a very aligned body with a very fast spinning vortex and very tightly bound electrons. So the more clear we are, the more clean we are, the greater the clarity of our thought. And that's going to affect what we do. So in a sense, also what we eat affects how we think and affects what we do. So if we're eating food in the quantum spin, food state nutrients, right? The body doesn't have to do anything to restructure it and self-organize it. It's already self-organized. So the workload, the energy required by the body is zero. And the end result is a higher energy field than when you started. That's what we want. We want a higher energy field than when we started, rather than eating a heavy plate full of meat, full of potato, full of gravy, literally white and brown food on the plate. That's really not life force. So what I am talking about here is life force and chi, and nature knows about this, and nature self-organizes all the time. So a seed will grow into a plant, which will then flower and have more seeds, which will drop to the ground, which will have another plant, seeds, flower seeds drop to the ground, and so on, becoming more and more intelligent with each generation. And us as humans need to do that too. I often get the feeling that we are the ancestors of an endangered species. And I've said this many, many times, because if you actually have a look at the hospitals that are overflowing, the disease states that are occurring in younger and younger generations, the number of people that are kept alive by synthetic medicines, it's just startling. It's not life. And I think if a wild species of animal or plant was under as much threat as we were, you would have thousands of scientists there researching and finding out what was wrong and how to save this space. But not happening with humans. We just keep plugging ourselves or getting plugged with toxins. So we want to wake up, of course, and we want to be totally aware We have the quantum device, the QUEX, Educta or Skio, which actually gives us a complete, you can say a computer printout. When you take your cart for a service, they run the computer and they tell you, right, these are the things that need to be fixed at this service. The exact same thing happens with the quantum health assessment, but plus you get treatment at the same time. And as your vortexes improve in spin, as your energy gets raised, the device shifts with you in virtual time. And as you then detox some more, get nourished more from programs we're running, the program shifts with you as well. So we're getting a type of an auto-focusing happening all the time for that full hour. So you get complete treatment as well as obviously the assessments. And that is giving us almost that computer risk factor printout where you can see where all the gaps are. You have them validated, it's non-biased. And I'll talk a little bit more about this towards the end, but we actually have the device to do this. And we use this device specifically for things like transformation and ascension right now. So there are people that want to maximize their DNA, maximize their immunity, maximize the neuropeptides in the brain, maximize their hormones, maximize the enzymes, and remove blockages, toxins, and anything unwanted and dark from the body. Literally, whatever it is, we can, with electromagnetic frequencies, neutralize it completely. And by the same token, also, there's nothing wrong with anyone saying, listen, if there's anything dark around me, this lifetime, all my past lifetimes, anything into the future, north, south, east, and west, top and bottom of me, it can actually go now. It can go outside and dissolve, disintegrate, go. It can go right now because we in the dimensional frame right now, probably 4D, where what we say and what we do happens right away. So we can do this right now with the device and going forward. So it's all about the self-organization. Number one, self-organize ourselves right now. And I've got some slides here where I actually use the word selfish. And when I first heard somebody say, Jan, I'm selfish about my purpose in life, and I don't do anything left or right of what my purpose is. I'm very sure what it is, and I know what it is, and I do it. And I sort of listened and I thought, wow, that sounds a little bit harsh, but let me digest this a little bit. And I then came to my senses and I realized, if you allow other people, other events, the weather, whatever it might be, to push you from side to side and sideswipe you sometimes, and you allow it to happen, that's not going to work for you. You then are going to get spiritually out of alignment, emotionally out of alignment, neurologically and physically. And there will be all the telltale signs there. All right. And then you will end up also blaming other people and just devolving. So in terms of our own self-organization, we can remain trapped and revolving in the third dimensional spin. Instead of evolving upwards, we can get trapped here. We can read every single who did it. We know the truth. We know what's going on, and we know also that it's our own livelihood, our own future, and our children's future that's at stake right now, and that we can't buy into anything that's on a negative space at all. It's not going to happen, and it won't happen, and we need to be very firm about that bigger purpose of our collective humanity. But on an individual basis as well, it can't happen and won't happen, not going to happen, because the following is going to happen: the light, the birthing of our new golden age. Right now, we are in the creative space. We can create what we want. I've just mentioned all of that. So we need to sit down, quietly meditate, and get very clear on what it is we wanting to create, and very clear on our future. You get the cues from nature because it's self-sustaining. Okay, so the nature already knows, and nature's not deceptive. Animals are not deceptive. They're in their authentic, true self space. And us as humans need to take some steps back and get into that space, because until we are authentically and truthful and moral, if you like, we are going to be sick. If you lie, you're going to be sick, because it affects you on a cellular level. It lowers your vibration, right? So we need to do whatever we can do to raise that vibration and keep it on and up, so we don't stay trapped And in the third dimensional deceptive pool, muddy, dirty pool, that's despicable. We know that. The deception and everything is beyond a joke. Okay, fine, we woke up. In the nick of time, we woke up just before December the 21st. And I spoke last night about the Mayans who predicted an apocalypse on the 21st of June, 2020. Apocalypse doesn't mean devastation. It means an awakening, a rebirth. We are now visiting the next solstice, which is 6 months later, December the 21st. The planets are in alignment. It's incredibly exciting. This has happened before, and it's been amazing. We need to create this amazingness. We need to create this absolute, beautiful, light-filled space that we're looking for, that we want, that we've yearned for. So I think every one of us listening in here this evening does not want this to carry on, what we supposedly have created or allowed to happen. We don't want that. We're wanting to shift, but from a position of contentment, because let's face it, we have been given a massive amount of abundance. We have been given the opportunity to incarnate, first of all, to breathe the sweet air, to drink the sweet water, to smell the sweet flowers. And have we done that? Have we availed ourselves to all that nature can give us, what we were given in this beautiful garden on earth? Or have we just literally remained revolved, got up, gone to work, come home, slept, got up, gone to work, go home, slept, eat fast food, never know what meal you had, what the color of the food was or anything like that? We've got to reassess this. We got to wake up and reassess completely. And so we're able to do that with the quantum skier. I'm able to help you as well, do a complete reset, a complete realignment, do the computer printout and get going. And that's what I do. A complete reset, no mercy. The old emotions need to go. They're not serving us. What did they do? How have they achieved us to shift forward in life? What was the gift? What was the golden gift? We find it. Get rid of the old patterns. And anything that's holding us back, and then we shift gear into the new space. Remarkable journey, and this is how the body will then self-realign. The innate potential of the body is ready and waiting for us, physically, neurologically, emotionally, and spiritually. And the transformation that I see in people it's actually beyond words. I mostly take a picture before and afterwards as well. But I don't even need to show them their before and after pictures, because people have come to them, they've gravitated towards them because their energy is different. It's crystal clear. The diamond is shining. We've taken all the dust and all the muck off. Okay, so let's have a look again today at nature and some of the self-organizing aspects of nature. And then we'll look back at ourselves and our own golden mean and our DNA and our purpose. Okay, so here we have the first slide, self-organization, soil, plants, animals, humans, and the cosmos. Now, why did I put all of those words together? Soil, nature, animals, humans, and the cosmos. Because we are a united, interdependent realm, if you like. So the four kingdoms on earth, soil, nature, animals, ourselves, and then interconnected with the cosmos, of course, because we're not living and operating in one planet that's revolving. That's not the case at all. The sun and the planets form an arc over us every single day and night. All right, and depending on that alignment is going to depend astrologically on what's happening, and that's what I'm speaking about the December the 21st. So we can't ignore that. We have to be integrated and interrelated. And I've just had the honor to have a product range of products that align us and charge the battery and get us and help us detox and nourish us to get to this higher level, this higher vibrational level, and potentiate the effects of the quantum device. And I'll talk a little bit more about those as we move. So here is a very, very special slide, because this slide is actually showing us. First of all, I've used geometry in my own logo, just by the way. You can see the DNA spiral. You can see the 8, the figure of 8. There are 8 sides to this. It's actually an octagon, a flower with an octagon. And an octagon is a very stable structure. We talked about structure last night, the structure of the bees. And we talked about the structure of the ancient cities, the circular cities with crossroad through them, completely stabilized, structured. Okay, and that structure imprints on you and your DNA, and that's why when you walk around Europe, and all those beautiful churches and beautiful buildings and temples and mosques are in absolute symmetry. And when our body and our eyes see that, it makes us become more symmetrical. Okay, and we look for symmetry, and symmetry exists in nature and what we've surrounded ourselves with. If we live in four-cornered bedrooms or offices or houses with flat ceilings, you can forget it. We are giving out our electrons. We are not receiving any. But if you sit in an octagon shape or a hexagon or a pentagon shaped room with a dome, even a round room with a dome shape, the dome is a scalar wave. That is the quantum wave, and that we receive, and that realigns us. And you can look at photographs before and after, people walking out of a four-cornered room with a flat ceiling, and then they sit in, let's say, an octagon with a dome for half an hour or something. After that, infrared camera will pick up the shift in the aura, and it's huge, it's extensive. So it's not only me just saying this, it's actually tangible and measurable. And you heal. I have an octagon at the center, the 365 Healthy by Choice Center. And sometimes the energy is too much for people. They come and they fall asleep. And I just let them sleep, because I know they're busy restructuring. They're busy realigning in that space. It's incredible energy. It's scalar energy. It's quantum energy. And they wake up and they're in a different space. And everyone sitting there, whether you're asleep or not, is realigning in real virtual time. And that realignment is throwing off toxicity. So there's many ways to realign, and that's one of them. Get into the right space, the right shape that feeds you. Get into nature, walk in nature, barefoot on the ground. The ground will feed you, the nature will feed you. The sun will feed you. The water you drink will feed you. The oxygen you breathe will feed you. All of this will create a beautiful vortex. Throw off the toxins, especially also when you breathe out. Breathe out all the old acidity. And this is self-patterning, self-organization. And you can see also photographs how you've actually shifted yourself from 10 years ago to 20 years ago, 30 years ago, however old you might be. But you can actually see morphologically how you've changed and shifted. So it's incredible, absolutely incredible, and so exciting and so amazing. And it's literally at our fingertips. So here we have the golden mean spiral. Okay. And I'm going to be talking a lot about this, because you'll see it in roses, you'll see it in pine cones, you'll see it in shells. And let's have a look at some of the places we will see it. I've got some slides, and there's a bit of repetition, but it's okay, because you start seeing different things at different times. So we see a beautiful spiral there with the wave. We see spirals here with our thumbprint. And you see many of these little spirally effect things when you look at jewelry. You'll see a lot of that. We see the golden mean in the fern frond unfolding. So it's going to unfold that way. And it's all the same geometry, the same dimensions. Our ear is in the form of a golden mean. Our bodies, there's many parts of our bodies, our eyes, the space between. It's all in golden mean symmetry. And when you look at those beautiful paintings of the past, those that are in a golden mean symmetry are the ones that we like, the ones that we relate to. When it's offbeat and unsymmetrical and so on, it's not easy for our body to receive. So everything in a sacred geometry space is what is, you see there. There's all the little veins. There again, self-organized patterns. Let's have a look at the next one. So we have our sunflower again, and you can see with your own eyes that there's golden means there, and you can see the circular patterns. You can see the flower within the flower. Sunflower is beautiful at showing us that. Absolutely beautiful. Now, when you eat that seed that comes out of a sunflower, you must know the quantum spin in that seed, provided it's obviously organically grown, etc., etc. Because you actually get, sadly, you get hybrid seeds today, and you'll grow the sunflower will grow, and 50, 80, 90% of the sunflower seeds are empty. Nothing happened. This is what we've done. This is what humans have done. Right? We've deceived ourselves even. We've distorted our own perception even. So we look here too. There again is the unfoldment of a frond. There is the seashell. Golden mean. There's the cactus. All the golden means coming out. There again, galaxies, 2 galaxies in a waveform as well. Can you see the golden mean? So I'm really showing you this so that we can really share and evolve ourselves from here. So same pictures, but there's the pine cone. So we get the golden mean coming out of there. There's the human. We started off as a golden mean. We started off as a golden mean. You can see the ear in that picture. There is an absolute, in our ear is the picture of the baby. There's the ear. Do you see that? So the thing here is the interconnectedness, interdependency. If nature is revealing golden mean spirals to us, we see it with bees, we see it with pine cones, we see it with roses, we see it with ferns, we see it with shells, we see it with everything, right? We need to stand back and say, well, right, let me fix my golden mean. And it needs to be in quantum space, and literally that's when I can then morph. Because we are interdimensional beings all the time anyway. We're coming in and out and in and out. We're not even really totally aware of it. Some of us are becoming more and more aware of it right now because we need to be. So therefore, we need to have this absolute agility to be able to do that. And that comes through with the food that we're eating and the thoughts we have and all the cleanliness that goes with it. Yeah, now this one I love because this one really shows us and brings the human aspect into it and brings our DNA into it and brings our purpose. We were here for a purpose. We got to work that out. We haven't worked it out. So again, our little bit of evolution starts right in the beginning of the golden mean and starts coming out. So you have an experience. Something dawns on you. I need to shift a bit. Over the last 10 years, people have moved out of cities, more into nature, started eating more healthily, exercising more, salads everywhere. Never before has it been like this. Okay. So we have this idea now that we need to shift. We need to be more healthy, more vibrant. So then we set about doing that and we start exploring it. We start practicing living like this. We see the health benefits. We see the energy benefits. It becomes more a habit. It's how we live, and we find and we gather together with other people, similar frequencies who are also doing this. And then we live it very deeply and we get more in tune with nature, more spiritually aware. Watch water flows, watch when the wind blows through the trees, things like that. Start getting more meaning, watch the beehives, and develop ourselves more and understand really where we come from even more, bringing it down to the community level where we have the collective transformation. So this is what we're aiming for, is to shift ourselves. Number one, put the oxygen mask on yourself first. Fix yourself. Get your quantum spin as high vibrational as possible and to be evolving out of this 3D space. So otherwise you can stay as trapped here. You can if you want to, or you can choose and create your new space with the new vibrance that we're learning about and working through. So here's another example of the golden mean, and you can see it's all lit exactly geometric. There's a ratio. It's the same everywhere. If you measure those angles, it's the same everywhere. And this is what I mean when I'm talking about a paradigm shift. So this is the old paradigm that started and it shifted upwards and it's on its way down. Okay, the old paradigm is on its way down. As it starts nearing the peak, the new paradigm is already starting. So those people who moved out of cities and started looking at more the countryside, growing their own food, eating healthily. This happened when people were still at the peak, let's say, of taking 5 prescription medicines a day, for example. So there was already that group, the pioneers, that started the new paradigm. And as we start this new paradigm, I'm telling you that there's a new group that are starting there to go up again as well. So this is the repeated pattern all the time. And out of this chaos over there, well, when it starts coming down, the chaos, the new paradigm shift is born. Chaos reigns, new paradigm shift is formed. And that happens, and that is our evolution, and that has happened generation after generation after generation. We just hope it's gone upwards and not downwards, and that we're not the ancestors of an endangered species. Okay, that we're completely interconnected and in tune. And right now, the earth is shifting, the earth is cleansing. Up to the solstice, up to the equinoxes, the earth cleanses. Mother Earth knows and the earth cleanses. Nature knows and nature cleanses. So if we're detoxing now and we're fasting and we're eating light and raw and all that, we are in tune with soil, nature, animals, other humans, and the cosmos. So everything's working for us, the planets, everything. And you see amazing things being reported right now in the news. All sorts of things, which we talk about in one or two of our other lectures coming. I want to be talking about a lot of things that are truths for us. So you have something else when we have a look at natural law versus man's law. And what I said earlier is that beauty and vitality are gifts from nature for those who abide by her laws. Leonardo da Vinci. So natural law is based on principles of truth, inherent to creation. Loaded word there, creation. Whereas man's law is based on dogmatic beliefs and constructs of the mind. And that's just going nowhere. Harmonized, major word, with due to knowledge and understanding. Knowledge. The age of Aquarius, it's knowledge. We're beyond belief. Totally beyond belief. We want measured, hard, validated, non-biased information. That's what the QUEX quantum device gives us. Every time. So information from the subconscious coming straight in onto the world's largest medical software platform. I mean it. And shifting in the virtual space, shifting with us in the virtual space. It's the most dynamic quantum medicine assessment, the kind of assessment you can get on the planet. So compared to complied with due to fear of punishment, and that's just outdated, it's old paradigm, and we are over that. We've done that. Opposite of fear, being courage. Natural law is universal, exists and applies anywhere in the universe, regardless of location. Right. So when we're using the quantum device, we're using the zero non-locality. That means if you are in Moscow, or if you are in a city in Peru, or you're in Sydney in Australia, this device will find you, because the subconscious exists in zero-based non-locality. And it will self-organize you from wherever you are, from the quantum device. And in fact, anywhere in the universe, just by the way, because it's a NASA device which is used actually to monitor the astronauts once they've left the planet. If anyone wants to know more about this, please inbox me. Inbox text me about this, because these laws are critical. Differs with location based upon the whim of legislated moral relativism. And this whole thing here is reductionist. There's nothing holistic about it whatsoever. Nothing interdependent. So natural law is external and immutable, exists and applies for us as long as the universe exists and cannot be changed. So with man's law, it's changed with time upon the whim of the legislators. Moral relativism. Okay, we're dealing with interdependency, the web of life, quantum. And what does this all boil down to? It's simple. Getting in touch with your authentic, organic, original, true self. It's as simple as that. It's not going back, it's not going forward, it's happening here and now. Your organic, original, authentic, organic, original, true self. That's what it's about. And then everything is morally aligned. Everything is actually perfect. The people that's searching perfection all the time. All right, the golden means intact, you have it. So we need to be steadfast with a lightning bolt fixation on where we're going. No deviation. Selfish about it. Visualize what we want and we will get there. Believe it. Believe it. So where we go wrong, we dream it, but we don't visualize it and believe it. We can create our future, but we need to believe that we're going to get there. And that's why I wrote the belief there. We have a choice, 365, on any level. Spiritual, emotional, mental, physical, educational, environmental, agroecology, home ecology, anywhere. And with anything, prevention is better than waiting for when it's too late. No one wants the wake-up call. No one wants to be the know-it-all when the end is close. It doesn't matter. What matters is what you did and how you shifted yourself. And are you in the place you need to be? It's got nothing to do with anyone else. It's about you putting your oxygen mask on first and creating the space you want. The space, the place, the all of it. So we need to think about this and journal. Because on the 17th, 18th, and 19th of December, I'm going to be looking at creating your golden age. And I'm going to be assimilating all this information and really driving deep and getting to the bottom level of everything. And also bringing in a lot of what's happening in the environment right now. There's a lot of things happening, and positive and negative. All right, but we're not going to get swayed by the negative because it's not our purpose. It's not part of our course. So we're streamlining straight through. We're setting our course and we're going. Has to be. So if anyone wants to work with me or have me work with you to define your purpose, your passion, to assist with the unfoldment of your DNA, and get to a point where we have a proper plan in place and we've created it and perfected it and know what we're doing without a shadow of doubt. Straightforward purpose. I'm happy to work with you because I'll work with the device with you, with your subconscious, which knows it all and it's going to feed information to me. So will the superconscious feed information to me. The conscious mind is the logical mind. It needs to go out the way. We need to work with subconscious and superconscious, which is exactly what we do. It's crystal clear. It's not maybe. All right, and then we give the frequencies to support all of this, provoke the shift going forward, and we can also track and measure progress from an ascension point of view, from dispelling old karma, and really uniting the body holistically within the space of the earth and within the space of the cosmos, let's call it that, so that we position beautifully for the future. So as I say, I'm very happy to help you with that. And let's see what we ended up with here. Oh, I just wanted to show you the device as well. So this is our QX device, and we connect it to our computers. And well, this is the kind of things we do. And these are the readings that I do, and it's all documented. And we can remove all the blockages that are in the way and see the patterns being repeating themselves and ask ourselves, is it serving us anymore? How did it serve us? And is it still serving us? Get rid of what's not paying rent is what I call it. We do the readings, they're validated, they're verified. Most importantly is they're non-biased. And most importantly too is that the healing is non-verbal actually. We obviously do talk, but it's, most of it's non-verbal. So we track the progress. We're able to see how people are shifting and moving forward. And we maximize health, we maximize the DNA, and we maximize our electromagnetic charge. So we really, really do reset the body, because the body is the physical form that's going to carry us where we need to be. We raise the charge, we raise the cell vitality, we nourish, and we detox. We build the immunity, and we reset the DNA. Back to the original blueprint that we have in the morphogenic field, along with the fractal changes that have happened and occurred in any event. So just to say to you, Whether you like it or not, you're shifting, because we have been anyway. The amount of cosmic dust that falls onto us on a day-to-day basis is full of nutrients. It's full of fragments that shift the DNA anyway. As we breathe, we're breathing in cosmic vibrations that shift the DNA. And 4 days ago, there was a massive solar flare, 4.4 M solar flare, which the highest gets to 6. So it was quite a big one. It was a medium one. And a solar flare is when a part comes out of the sun, right? And that electromagnetic radiation positively affected us. Every single one of us, whether we like it or we don't like it. We couldn't stop it. You can't say, no, not me, and go and hide. Electromagnetic radiation drills through everything. There's no blockages. And they're going to be more, and they have been this whole year as well, and they're going to be more and more and more. So we are in the space of the solar revolution right now. So let's work with all these shifts. Let's give ourselves the best chance to shift forward. Be joyful, be in the present, be in the now. Because in the now and in the newer 5-dimensional space, it's not about money. It's not about that. It's about serving humanity. It's about doing things for the greater good. It's about being happy. It's about being free. Okay, so we've got a number of days leading up to 21st of December to actually free ourselves as far as possible and to get onto this plane, all right, where we are operating interdimensionally, multidimensionally, interuniversally, if you like, even, all right? And we are linking our purpose with the greater, bigger space, not just this little space on Earth. We need to go expand into infinity, if you like. And reach out in all those spaces. We need to sit quietly. We need to work this through. Okay, it's different for each one of us. So I'm just seeing who's sitting in here. Oh, that's nice. So what if you've got any comments that you want to make, feel free, write them in the chat. It's easy for me to comment. You know, there's a lot of things that I'm done with that don't serve me anymore, that I'm not part of anymore, and I'm not entertaining it because I have a single-minded direction. And you know, I mean, as I say, the third time now, I mean, I'm using that word selfish because we have to be. We've got to be absolutely single-minded and selfish about what we're doing. Selfish, I suppose, is showing yourself actually self-love. It's actually respecting yourself and what you need to do. And some people need to be in quiet places. Some people need to be in nature, or a bit of both, a bit of everything. And we need to be working in an effortless way right now, not struggling and forcing and everything. It needs to be effortless. And literally, we need to take a step back to take a step forward and to position ourselves, right? We can create this beautiful, wonderful space. And it's infinite. And also through alchemy, you can transform what you want. Your inner alchemy. We can transform all that extra lead in our body from the environment into gold. Alchemically, through the breath, you can do it. Okay, so I hope I've given you some nice information. And yeah, we want to move to, yeah, I love that. Lynn's saying, awesome, excellent. Healthy, selfish. What's that? Andrea, perfect. And then we've got Vanessa. Vanessa, I'm looking forward to seeing you soon. She says I am shift. I love it. Let's go, girls. Seems like we're all girls. Let me just make sure. It looks like it could be all girls. So doesn't matter. Let's just move forward now. We don't need permission. We don't have to ask anybody. That we just transform everything into the courage. The courage that we know that we have. The other point is as well is that people are talking so much about their ascension. We have ascended already. Let me explain something. Some of us have come from first dimension, second dimension, third, fourth. We're moving up to fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, 12th, and so on. Some of us are doing it this way. There are other people on the planet that are already in 12th and 13th coming back 11th, 10th, 9th, 8th, 7th, 6th, 5, 4, 3, meeting us this way, that are alive on earth and awake, and literally planting the seeds, sowing the seeds for us to just move into the new space. They're dying. They're wanting us to move into fifth dimension. So be it, live it, do it. The time's now, because we're moving out of that Kali Yuga, the 26,000 years. All right, and we're moving out of the Piscean age and we're moving into that age of Aquarius. To tell you the truth, I can't wait, because the Piscean age, I'm done with it. The subjectivity, the belief, and all the rest of it, it just doesn't suit me. I'm a grounded person, and I love validation, verification, non-biased situations. And well, we can do that, and we can also use technology to the very best of our ability, understanding that there's a bell-shaped curve for everything. You have some wine. It's positive. It's positive. You get to the point at the top of the curve, and anything more than that becomes destructive. You take raw milk, for example, very, very, very important for certain dimensions within our interdimensional space. It's about dosage. Gets to the point too much. Sinuses, inflammation, all the rest of it. I'm talking about raw milk, kefir, whatever you want to look. Honey, same thing. These are substances that actually need to feed us interdimensionally, different dimensional spaces. Blue-green algae, lion's mane medicinal mushrooms, for example. Pollen, raw jelly. They all feed us interdimensionally. So we're so used to looking at the physical. Okay, these in the quantum spin, you're feeding everything. You're realigning everything in one time. So it's really auspicious and amazing. And when you start reading also about the morphogenic field, and Sheldrake is the author of the morphogenic field. Go and have a look at a bit of that information. It's amazing. So everything is about our spin. You can check it. Our electromagnetic spin. You see? And the electrons, negative electrons revolving around the proton and neutron in the middle of the atom. Literally, that's it. And that's what holds us together. And electrons never touch. So actually, what you see here looks semi-solid, but they're not actually touching. And the best thing that showed me this was, if you have a look at a white blood cell under the microscope, it's the most amazing thing on earth. There's this blob of lights that are doing this. All I can do is explain it as lights, because that's what they are. There's this frequency that's doing this, and it's shifting, and it's eating and cleaning, and shifting and eating and cleaning, and it does this over the screen for you. Boundaryless. They're held together through electromagnetic spin. See what I mean? The red blood cells held together in that concave, beautiful space because of the electromagnetic spin. So you get your electromagnetic spin, you realign yourself. That's why I take before and after photographs of my patients, and I show them what we did. I show them how we realigned. So you can do this too. And I'm happy to help anyone who wants to jump in. Lynn saying transmute light and love. Thank you, Lynn. So, and I'm seeing also my favorites are sitting there also. I won't mention, because then I'm going to mention all of you, and I can't see all of you. But yeah, tomorrow we have the Desi Dubonnet, Professor Desi, talking about one specific aspect from the Quantum Immune University, and the designer of our devices. And I'll be talking about transitioning to a new golden age after her talk. And then on Sunday, I'm talking about star seeds. And then on Monday, clear body, clear mind, clear emotions, clear spirit. That's going to be a big detox story from saunering to oxygen to exercise, sweating, olden day sweat pits, detoxing on all these levels. And then I'll be talking about lifestyle shifts in the new paradigm, the different dimensions there. I'm going to be talking about elementals next week. And then I'm going to be talking about, okay, off-grid living, because I've combined health, home, food, and business in these talks because they all go together. Fermented foods, okay, also sensitive chaos and water, peace, joy, happiness, and love, which is what we're wanting. You see, we're wanting to end. Of course, that's a freedom. And then whales and dolphins, sprouting, growing plants in their natural homes, in the indigenous home, and why we need to grow plants in their natural biome. Because again, there's an interconnective and interdependent space. If you take a tree from Mexico and come and put it in South Africa, or a South African tree and put it in Australia, it's going to wreak havoc because it's out of its own spin, it's out of its own biome, not supposed to be there. So then you start getting, problems with water systems and all of that. So I'll talk about that. And I'll also talk about, if you have a look at the top of my indigenous trees, there's a hive of activity. There's bees, there's wasps, there's flies. So I have a look at the top of the neighbor's exotic plant, okay? Nothing to do with the plant. It's dead. It might as well be plastic. There's no life in it. And in fact, if the birds eat the seeds from some of those, they go sterile and they're not fertile anymore. See, so we've got to look at that. I know if you put me in the freezing cold, I would be in the wrong place for me. I like warm. I like warmth. So just to say. But I mean, we can obviously adapt as well. And then the quantum spirit, business in the new paradigm, and that's got a lot to do with money and non-money exchange, immunity, weight loss, weight release, things like that. So I've got a whole variety of talks. You can see they are on the website. Every day at 7. I'm here. Join me. And let's thrash this through and let's live lightly, joyfully, and with ease. Okay. See you tomorrow, 7 o'clock, South African time, Greenwich Mean Time plus 2 hours. And then we will look at some more transforming. And then, as I say to you all, those of you who would like to avail themselves to, some quantum health readings and get in touch with themselves in tune, or wake up to the realities, do the computer test if you like, and then shift going forward. Let's do that, because now's the time. Pleasure, all of you. Okay, bye.